Most women with curly hair feel that they have to oil their scalp. Black women has a scalp that does not produce oil, and today we are going to kill that myth once and for all. By the end of this video, I will prove to you that black women do have oil produced in their body and coming through their scalp. I will also prove to you that oiling the scalp has directly affected the amount of hair growth that black women are able to obtain. Let's get into it. What is the sebaceous gland? The sebaceous gland is a microscopic exocrine gland on the body. Now, an exocrine gland is basically a gland that is a pretty thin layer that covers the whole body, aka your skin. That the sebaceous gland covers every part of your body. From the top of your head to the bottom of your feet, you have sebaceous glands, except for on the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. Every other part of your body has a sebaceous gland, all right? Let's keep going. Inside of the sebaceous gland are small cells, and these cells are full of sebum. Sebum is a substance, aka a natural oil that the body produces. The sebum that comes from the scalp has so many different functions. Of course, one of those functions is to make your hair shiny, but it goes way beyond that. Depending on what type of climate you live in, the sebum that is released from the scalp does a lot of different things, right? So if you are in a hotter climate, you know, like in Vegas, Africa, you know, in different places like that where it's super duper hot, as the sebum comes out of the hair's follicle, what it does, it actually emulsifies with your sweat. And the reason that it emulsifies with the sweat in hotter climates is to prevent dehydration, because if the sebum can emulsify with the sweat, what it does, it holds on to that sweat as moisture, so that way you avoid dehydration in hotter climates, right? But then if you are in a cooler climate, the sebum actually becomes more lipid, so it turns into more so like a what do you call it? Like installation, right? And if you're in a colder climate, it's protecting the scalp and the rest of the body, because remember, you have sebaceous glands over your entire body except for the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. So as sebum is released from the body, from the top of the head to the bottom of the feet, in colder climates, like I said, it becomes more lipid, so it acts as a barrier, right? So that way you are not freezing as fast. It acts as an insulator, basically, to help you hold on to heat and to help you avoid like harsh weather conditions. So sebum has a whole lot of different actions, but let's keep going. Occurring where the cells rupture, because remember I said the sebum lives inside of the sebaceous gland, inside of cells. So through this process, the cells actually rupture, and when the cells rupture, they release sebum into the sebaceous gland, and then within the sebaceous gland, it pushes that sebum out through the follicle, up on the scalp, and through the hair shaft and down the hair shaft, right? And the way that you are able to evenly distribute that sebum down the hair shaft is through combing and brushing the hair while the hair is dry, because water and oil do not mix, right? They just don't. They're not mixing, and it's not emulsifying with your household water or with your tap water or with your purified water or with your shower water. It's not emulsifying. The sebum is not emulsifying with that type of water. It's just not. When we are talking about these cells rupturing, they are constantly replacing their self through a system called mitosis. And we all learned about mitosis when we was in school, like high school, middle school. I don't remember, but I know I learned about mitosis in high school or middle school. I know. Like I said, once the cells rupture and the sebum is released, the process of mitosis begins and the cells begin to replace themselves, and the process continues again. And this is all over the body. The scalp has a lot of sebaceous glands. In this photo here, you can see a picture of the sebaceous gland on the scalp, and this is where the sebum and the natural oil that Black women's body produces, just like every other race walking the face of this earth. Lastly, a lot of times most women will think like, oh, my scalp isn't producing oil, it's so dry, oh my god, my scalp is so dry. Well, guess what? There's something else that we need to talk about. Most of the time when you see what appears to be dry scalp, it's not really dry scalp, because what do you determine is dry scalp? Most people look at any type of flaking, white crust buildup or anything like that. Oh, this is dandruff. No, dandruff is classified as really big flakes. Like I'm talking like cornflakes, okay? Like family size cornflakes, big super size, double size, amplified, big cornflakes is what dandruff actually looks like. But most women who think that they have dandruff actually have smaller like pellets or smaller pieces of dry skin, and what that actually is calcified sebum. How? Well, there is an acid right here that I'm not about to say because I'm just not, but this is the name of the acid that is produced within the sebaceous gland. And we have these cells that produce sebum, and once they're produced, mitosis sets in and they reproduce like very actively. But as these cells rupture, some people, depending on your body, depending on what you're putting in the body, like what you're eating, depending on how often you're shampooing your hair and things of that nature, this will determine the amount of calcified sebum you have on the scalp. Because a lot of times it's not dry scalp, a lot of times it's not dandruff, you guys. A lot of times it's just calcified sebum, oil. You know that thing that most people think Black women don't have? Yeah, it calcifies because guess what? The cells are constantly rupturing, right, within the sebaceous gland, and if they rupture too much, and if there's an overproduction of sebum, or if the sebum isn't being removed properly, then the body's like, okay, I can fix that, because God is a masterful creator and has a response and a solution for everything when it comes to the body, right? Different forms of seborrheic dermatitis come from an infection within the sebaceous gland, and this infection comes from an overproduction of sebum combined with this acid. And if you put a cap on top of the follicle with coconut oil, petroleum like Blue Magic that everybody loves, or any conditioner that you're rubbing into the scalp, or any comedogenic oil or butter or any type of product that you're putting on the scalp and on the hair's follicle, this will directly lead to an infection within the sebaceous gland because it's capped. So remember, within your scalp you have a sebaceous gland with cells that are constantly rupturing and pushing oil out. But if you're constantly greasing your scalp and putting petroleum based products on there, it can never come out. This is why a lot of times, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people have this same type of pattern baldness. We talk about it within a Guru VIP, but a lot of people have this, but it is mainly because a lot of women do not cleanse their scalp properly. Sex hormones can drastically decrease the amount of sebum production that you have, but androgens, they actually increase the amount of sebum production that you have. And if you want a little bit more information on what what types of fruits and vegetables and what types of herbs you should take to give your body the natural sets of amino acids and to uptake and speed up your sebum production, then I really recommend that you go ahead and download this ebook. It'll give you like a bomb diet to increase your sebum production, to speed up your hair growth cycle, all of that stuff. And I mean, if you really need some help, if you really need some serious help, join my 7-day challenge. All of the links are in the description box below, and I will see you guys really soon. Bye bye. And stop saying that. I'm sorry. You know I'm a Gemini / Cancer. Listen, that was all nice and stuff, but stop greasing your scalp. I don't care who mama, auntie, sister, cousin, in-law, sister Tracy said that black women's hair don't produce oil. She don't know what she's talking about. It's not true, because guess what? Your dog skin produce oil. Your cat skin produce oil. Every mammal walking the face of this earth has a sebaceous gland. So you mean to tell me God gave your dog a sebaceous gland, but he was like,
black women, you can't have no sebaceous gland. You can't have no oil coming out your skin. Sorry black girls, you got butt already. You got butt, you got skin, you got curly hair. You're not getting no sebaceous gland. So don't ask me.
I don't think that's how it went. But I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong. See you later.